Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm here once again to give you guys my superstar picks reviews. And this was pretty much a continuation of the last video, so I'll just talk about that. This time, Sasha Banks picked probably one of my favorite matches of all time, and that's a match that took place at WrestleMania 25 between The Undertaker and Shawn Michaels. And obviously, this review will be structured the same way. So let me just get right into it. So Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 25. Um, you hear those names and you're instantly hooked. I mean, you really don't need much of a build-up for that. It's Undertaker with Shawn Michaels, but they had build-up. They even go back to you know the 90s. You know, even in the early, well, actually, mostly the 90s, because they were both in WWE a long time. They were in it pretty much for a while. They both came up in the WWE at kind of around the same time. And then it kind of got to be towards the mid late 90s, going into the Attitude Era, and sparking the end of the New Generation era. They had a lot of history with each other. They were part of the first ever Hell in a Cell match. Um, at In Your House Bad Blood 1997, at the Royal Rumble 1998 during a casket match that the two had against each other. Shawn Michaels ended up injuring his back in that match, which caused him to have to take 4 years off of professional wrestling. And Shawn Michaels finally came back in 2002. Meanwhile, as Undertaker was tearing it up in the ring, so it just worked. These were both the last two guys in the Royal Rumble match in 2007, where Undertaker eliminated Shawn Michaels to win the Royal Rumble match, and they started out the Royal Rumble match in 2008, the next year. Um, so they had history with each other. Now, what I never liked about this build up is they kind of tried to make it seem like that these two guys never really faced before. And once WrestleMania came around, the commentators kind of brought it to your attention that they had wrestled before, but still, it still worked. Um, but then we got to the actual build up at WrestleMania. Shawn Michaels wanted to face The Undertaker at WrestleMania, so they set up these series of mini qualifying matches that he had to go through. He qualified at first on Raw by defeating JBL, and then he ended up defeating Vladimir Kozlov the next week. So then we were off to the races. It was Shawn Michaels versus The Undertaker. And this was kind of like, in a way, it was the real Mr. WrestleMania in my eyes, and The Undertaker versus who the WWE loves to tell you is Mr. WrestleMania, and Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels had a history of having show-stealing matches at WrestleManias and just epic performances. Starting back, in the ladder match at WrestleMania 10, when he stole the show, and then obviously with Razor Ramon. And then WrestleMania 11, he had the best match of the night against Diesel for the WWE Championship. Then WrestleMania 12, he wrestled in the first ever Iron Man match in WWE history and defeated Bret Hart in overtime in a 1 hour Iron Man match and walked out WWE Champion. WrestleMania 14, he had his last match against Stone Cold Steve Austin until 2002. And then WrestleMania 19 in 2003. He had probably one of the best matches on the show against Chris Jericho and really stole the show. WrestleMania 20, him, Triple H, and Chris Benoit, which is a match that's forgotten about, stole the show in the main event. WrestleMania 21, him and Kurt Angle stole the show. He beat the shit out of Vince McMahon at WrestleMania 22. WrestleMania 23, him and John Cena had an epic match in the main event for the WWE Championship. And then you had WrestleMania 24, where Shawn Michaels ended up retiring Ric Flair. So Shawn Michaels had show-stealing performances. He was, you could make an argument, Mr. WrestleMania. But the real Mr. WrestleMania to me was always The Undertaker, because he never lost at WrestleMania. He had built his undefeated streak. Started at WrestleMania 7, he defeated Superfly Jimmy Snuka. Then at WrestleMania 8, he defeated Jake the Snake Roberts. WrestleMania 9, he defeated Giant Gonzalez. WrestleMania 10, he missed WrestleMania. WrestleMania 11, he defeated um, King Kong Bundy. WrestleMania 12, he defeated Diesel. WrestleMania 13, he won the WWE Championship from Psycho Sid. WrestleMania 14, he defeated Kane. WrestleMania 15, he beat Big Boss Man in a Hell in a Cell match. WrestleMania 16 or WrestleMania 2000, whatever you want to call it, he missed that year's WrestleMania. WrestleMania 17, he defeated Triple H. WrestleMania 18, he defeated Ric Flair in a no disqualification match. WrestleMania 19, he defeated Big Show and A-Train in a 2-on-1 handicap match. WrestleMania 20, he defeated Kane. WrestleMania 21, he defeated Randy Orton. WrestleMania 22, he defeated Mark Henry in a casket match. WrestleMania 23, he defeated Batista for the World Heavyweight Championship. WrestleMania 24, he defeated Edge for the World Heavyweight Championship. So they really made a name for themselves at WrestleManias. And then we were finally off to the races to the build-ups in this match. And I love the build-up to this match. You know, they kind of did it based on that. They did it based on the fact that they both came from different background. Undertaker was the dead man. He had risen up from hell. But Michaels talked about how he was the light. It was light versus darkness. Shawn Michaels talked about how he was heaven. And Undertaker says that sometimes it's hell trying to get to heaven. He would say that constantly. They even did a segment on SmackDown where Shawn Michaels kind of came out dressed as the Undertaker, except he was more of a lighter version of the Undertaker. And Shawn Michaels wasn't going to be intimidated by the Undertaker. He tried to play mind games with the Undertaker. Undertaker, when he would teleport to the ring, normally people would get afraid, but Shawn Michaels wasn't afraid. He would go to the Undertaker's graveyard and go through his WrestleMania streaks and talk about how he was going to make his WrestleMania streak rest in peace and super kick the 16-0 sign. He would continuously play mind games with The Undertaker by laying him out time in and time out with sweet chin music. And the build-up just really worked. And I love this build-up. So then we had the match itself. And this match is probably one of the best, is probably one of my favorite matches of all time. And probably, if I had to rank it, it's probably number 2, just behind the Hell in a Cell match at Bad Blood 2000. In Your House, Bad Blood, 1997. It's easily, probably, maybe one of my favorite WrestleMania match of all time. Shawn Michaels versus The Undertaker. I love the entrances, how Shawn Michaels came out doing the same thing, where he came out as like a lighter version of The Undertaker as Taker, and then The Undertaker kind of just came out as his entrance. We had the commentators, though, in this match. It was Michael Cole, Jerry the King Lawler, and Jim Ross, which I thought really made this match as well. I thought they did a fantastic job calling this match. And this match just works on so many different levels. I love this match. Undertaker, though, would try to fire away at Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels would use his quickness to escape the Undertaker and hit a chop occasionally on the Undertaker until the Undertaker had enough of it and started wailing away with right hand in the corner right onto Shawn Michaels. Undertaker hit a wicked body slam and then a gorilla press slam, driving Shawn Michaels to the floor, and then an elbow drop, but Shawn Michaels kicked out of it at 1. And Undertaker hit a corner splash in the corner. He went for his big boot in the corner, and then Shawn Michaels moved out of the way, and then Shawn Michaels hit a shin breaker on the Undertaker, and then he hit a chop block, and he really started to target the injured legs of the Undertaker. He got him in a figure 4 leg lock. Undertaker was able to get out of it. Undertaker went for a choke slam. Shawn Michaels countered. Shawn Michaels went for a super kick. Undertaker ducked. And I actually like the spot in the match I didn't mention the most, where Shawn Michaels went to go on the top turnbuckle when Undertaker threw him off, and Shawn Michaels faked a knee injury and ended up hitting a Luthez press on the Undertaker. I like that spot a lot. And then the Undertaker hit a snake eyes, big boot and leg drop on Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels, like I said, hit the super kick. And then Undertaker got Shawn Michaels into Hell's Gate, but Shawn Michaels was able to get to the ropes to break it. Shawn Michaels hit a 2 atomic drops on the Undertaker and then a right hand, then went for his elbow drop, but Undertaker sat up, so Shawn Michaels was unable to do the move. And then Undertaker fought with Shawn Michaels on the outside. Probably missed some spots in the beginning of the matchup, but I can't do the match justice by talking about every spot. You just have to kind of see it for yourself. Undertaker bounced Shawn Michaels' head um, off the steel steps, and then he had an elbow drop while Shawn Michaels was thrown up against the apron, setting up for his guillotine leg drop. He went for his guillotine leg drop. Shawn Michaels moved out of the way, and then Shawn Michaels hits a baseball drop kick right on the outside. He goes for his moonsault, but Undertaker swats him away because Shawn Michaels struggled a little bit to get up on the turnbuckle. And then the referee checks to see if Shawn Michaels can still go. He thinks that Shawn Michaels should call off the match. But then Undertaker goes for his suicide dive that he does at every WrestleMania that looks really cool because he only does it once a year. You only get to see it once a year. But then Shawn Michaels posed the cameraman in front of him, who didn't catch the Undertaker the way he was supposed to. The cameraman was a little bit too far away, and the Undertaker dove and just kind of hit his head on the ground. It looked really brutal, actually. It's actually kind of scared. I remember actually being kind of scared watching that at the time because I thought the Undertaker was going to be paralyzed. Well, not paralyzed, but I thought he was seriously injured after that. So it kind of hurt my enjoyment of the match at the time a little bit, but then when you watch it back, it still, it definitely changes my perspective. I haven't watched it actually since then. Then Shawn Michaels wants the referee to count out the Undertaker because he wants to beat the Undertaker. He wants to break the streak by any means necessary. So he tries to count out the Undertaker, and then the Undertaker is able to beat the 10 count just barely, right before 10. And Shawn Michaels goes for Sweet Chin Music. Undertaker counters into a wicked choke slam, and he covers Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels kicks out. Then Undertaker goes for a tombstone. Shawn Michaels counters into a Sweet Chin Music. Undertaker kicks out. Undertaker goes for a last ride on Shawn Michaels, but Shawn Michaels tries to counter at first into a roll-up, but then Undertaker was able just to hit the move anyways, which looked awesome. And Shawn Michaels kicks out. And then Undertaker goes for an elbow drop off the top turnbuckle. Shawn Michaels moves out of the way. And then Shawn Michaels tries to charge at the Undertaker. Undertaker moves out of the way. And Shawn Michaels, before he tumbles to the floor, stops himself by catching himself off the ropes and doing that typical Royal Rumble spot you would see where the guy holds onto the ropes and prevents himself from being eliminated. But instead, this time what happens is when Shawn Michaels goes to flip back into the ring like they normally do, Undertaker catches him in a tombstone position and hits the tombstone pile driver on him. I thought that was a great counter, actually. And then Undertaker covers Shawn Michaels. He crosses his hands and sticks his tongue out like he normally pins him. And you think the match is going to be over, but then Shawn Michaels kicks out. And that the what made this kick out and like made the emotion really work is one you wouldn't expect Shawn Michaels to kick out, but the facial expressions that the Undertaker makes in this match really sold this kick out. Like he actually thought that this match was going to be over, and I really enjoyed that. I obviously think Shawn Michaels did the same thing. I thought that was great. So then Undertaker takes his straps off and he goes to go for a second tombstone pile driver. But then Shawn Michaels turns it into a DDT, and Shawn Michaels then hits an elbow drop off the top turnbuckle, and then hits the Sweet Chin Music again. Undertaker kicks out, and like I said, the facial expressions that Shawn Michaels made after this was tremendous. And then both men just trade shots at each other, kind of having like that roller coaster battle in wrestling matches you normally see, where you don't know who's going to quite get the advantage. And then Shawn Michaels Undertaker Irish whips Shawn Michaels into the corner. Undertaker goes to charge at him. Shawn Michaels gets the boot up, and he goes for a moonsault. Undertaker catches him into a tombstone pile driver, hits the tombstone pile driver, covers Shawn Michaels, gets the win, and the match is over. Undertaker goes 17-0 at WrestleMania, and that was the end of the match. This match is fantastic. This match is one of the matches that if you have never seen it before, you have to see it. It's a fantastic match, easily a 5-star match, and I don't have to ask myself if it is because you know it's a 5-star match. It's easily 5 stars, easily my second favorite match of all time. It's fantastic. So definitely check it out if you've never seen this match before. Um, and then the aftermath of this match, where everybody went from this match. I'll talk about, obviously Shawn Michaels and the Undertaker. Well, Sim Snuka was the guy playing the camera guy. He was supposed to catch the Undertaker. He was fired shortly after this, which I can't really blame WWE because he could have seriously hurt the Undertaker. So I don't really blame him, and I didn't really like Sim Snuka anyway, so he was fired. The Undertaker and Shawn Michaels, though, will go on to win Best Match of the Year um, in the WWE Slammy Awards. I don't think they won Best Match of the Year in the Wrestling Observer Awards. I'll check, but I believe they did. But I'm going to check real quick just to make sure they didn't win Match of the Year because I don't want to be one. I'm just going to check this real quick. Approved most of them. I'm trying to find it. I'm just gonna make sure it's here. Promotion of the year. That's okay. Pro Wrestling Match of the Year. Here we go. 2009. And yes, it did win Best Match of the Year in the Wrestling Observer Awards. So I had to make sure. But it was probably the best match of 2009 ever. It really saved this WrestleMania too. And what one thing I don't like about this match, not necessarily about the match itself, but the fact that this match mid-carded WrestleMania. They put it right in the middle of the fucking show. Whoever structured that show was an idiot. No match was able to follow that. I heard too this match was only supposed to go 15 minutes, and instead they were like, "Nah, we're going 35 fucking minutes." Yeah, serves you right because Undertaker Shawn Michaels stole the show. If you have Undertaker and Shawn Michaels at a WrestleMania, you ain't main event in that show. You're a fucking idiot. Um, but let's get to what else happened from this. So obviously Shawn Michaels and Undertaker kind of both disappeared after WrestleMania. They usually kind of disappear after WrestleMania. So yeah. Um, Shawn Michaels came back and did his DX thing for a little bit, and then Undertaker came back and went for the world title, won the world title. And at the Slammy Awards, when they won Match of the Year, Shawn Michaels could not live with the fact that he made one mistake and lost the WrestleMania match. So he wanted a rematch with The Undertaker. The Undertaker didn't feel like he had anything to prove to face Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania again, so he declined. So Shawn Michaels did everything he could to faced The Undertaker at WrestleMania. He tried to enter the Royal Rumble match and failed to win the Rumble so he could challenge Taker for the title, but it didn't happen. He tried to get into the Elimination Chamber match. Didn't happen. But then eventually, the Elimination Chamber, Shawn Michaels cost The Undertaker the World Championship. And obviously, this made the Taker want to get his revenge. So Shawn Michaels said, "Why don't you face me at WrestleMania to get your revenge?" That's what happened. But Undertaker said that if you lose this match, your career was over. So they had the match. It was a streak versus career match. It was no DQ. There was no holds barred this time because the only way Shawn Michaels wanted to win this time was by pinfall or submission. And Undertaker ended up beating Shawn Michaels, and that was the end of Shawn Michaels' career, and he hasn't had a match since, which I actually kind of like. And then obviously this kind of started this like 4 year storyline between it, because then when Triple H got involved, they had their match at WrestleMania. Shawn Michaels got a little bit involved in that, and Undertaker beat Triple H to go 19-0. And then at WrestleMania 20, they had the end of the year match, and they culminated all those stories with Shawn Michaels as a guest referee, and Undertaker beat Triple H, but they made it seem like that Shawn Michaels could have screwed over the Undertaker. He could have screwed over Triple H, um, and I liked that part of the story. And afterwards, they had that end of an era match where they all raised each other's hands, and Triple H, um, you know, and then Shawn Michaels pretty much has come back for short stints and stuff like that. Undertaker, um, kind of came back once a year at WrestleMania. He lost his streak to Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 30, which I still think sucks. Which I still think sucks. Um, and then he got his revenge on Brock Lesnar, and then now Melbourne, Australia, WWE Super Showdown, October 6th. Undertaker and Triple H are going to have a match, and they just recently did a segment with Undertaker and Shawn Michaels where um, they were kind of teasing a future Undertaker Shawn Michaels match. So that was that. I love this though. I think everybody benefited from this match. The fans, the performers, WWE, everybody. And then As for the commentators, Jim Ross pretty much was off commentary on a full-time basis ever again after this WrestleMania because he had his ball palsy attack again. I believe he was off commentary in October of 2009. He's come back and done did some commentary, like he came back in 2011 and commentated pretty decently regularly, and then he's come back as like a one-off types of appearances. He came back and commentated that end of an era match with Triple H and the Undertaker. He he commentated you know some Undertaker's match at WrestleMania 33 against Roman Reigns, stuff like that. Michael Cole's just pretty much taking his spot where he's now the play-by-play guy on Monday Night Raw. And Jerry the King Lawler's pretty much retired. He retired in 2016 pretty much as a commentator, and he comes back and every once in a while. So yeah, and Sasha Banks pretty much picked this match as like one of her top favorite matches for the same reason I did. I talked about it, the emotion, the goosebumps you feel when you watch this match. It's pretty much the same reason I picked this match, so I don't really need to go into any more discussion about that. But that's pretty much the end of this, Superstar Picks Reviews episode. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I sure as hell did. Make sure you guys like, comment, and share this video so people will watch it. Make sure you guys subscribe to this channel for more content and click on the bell so that way every time I upload a video, you guys will get the notifications for it. Make sure you guys do the same thing for my CM Brothers and on the Talkinator YouTube channels. And that's pretty much it, guys. Talk to you later.